insurance customer gave me this requirement. They wanted to build an automated performance coaching system for insurance sales, which looks into weekly reviews between branch managers, team leads, and field agents, and it auto generates agendas based on sales KPIs. Now, let's see what happens when I put this prompt on my AI coding agent. So, I'm using VS Code here, and this is my project, which is Performance Management System Sales, right? And I have my um, rule engine, which is the guide rule engine, which is has been made as part of this particular project. Now here is CoPilot, and I am using this particular prompt, and I'm using the topmost reasoning model here, which is available in the market today, which is Cloud Opus 4.6. So let's see the magic. So normally what will happen is it's going to look into the rule engine that I have, and it's going to bifurcate the requirement and get into particular stage that we have in guide. It's loading the workspace, and it's trying to understand with workspace detection whether this is an existing code base or a net new code base. Now here you see the magic. It greets you, welcome to Guide AI Software Development Practice by Deploy Pro. I'm a Deploy Pro AI engineer, so it is kind of assistant sitting in here, and it gives a cool welcome message to you. And then it actually gives you the phases. So in Guide, we have three phases, which is discover phase, build phase, and deploy phase. Now the discover phase, we have workspace detection, requirements analysis, user stories, workplace workflow planning, application design, units generation. And same thing, we have build phase, which actually looks into design, coding, and testing part of it. And then we have deploy phase. It's actually creating the requirements analysis document. And before that, it is going to ask you questions which are very important as a product developer. So if you see these guide docs, it also creates audit trail of what's happening. So if I look at audit.md, it actually logs all the information, all the chat that we are doing. So if at all a developer or a development team is talking to this coding agent, this rule engine will ensure that we have complete transparency of what has happened, so that tomorrow you can go back to this audit trail and check what kind of instructions you have given, which is why AI has generated some sort of output, right? And it helps you to basically keep improving based on the issues that you see in this workflow while working with AI. The second state is guide state.md, which showcases the stages in progress. Now we are in discover phase because that's the first phase wherein AI is trying to understand the requirement, and it's going to work with you as a product developer to ensure that the requirement analysis is complete, and then it's going to show you which stage it is working in. And starting with workspace detection, this stage actually ensures that the code base is existing or new. So it's very helpful when you are doing brownfield use case. If you find a particular existing package, then it will actually do reverse engineering, create the right documentation for your project as well. Now look at this. Requirement analysis complete. Now it says, I have analyzed your request for an automated performance coaching system for insurance sales and identified 12 key areas that need clarification. So it says request type is new project, which is Greenfield. Clarity is good foundation, needs detail on scope, tech, and KPI, so it needs more understanding. System-wide multi-role scheduled workflows, KPI integration, and assessing the requirement, and it's providing the complexity as well. And it says it's complex because there is role hierarchy, automated agenda generation, and scheduling and analytics. So now it has created requirements verification question, and this is very interesting point. What type of insurance sales does this system primarily cover? It is asking what kind of insurance. Life insurance different from general insurance versus health insurance, or you're talking about all lines of insurance here. What is the organizational hierarchy of for coaching sessions? Branch manager, team lead, field agent, regional manager, branch. So it's asking you the hierarchy. What are the primary sales KPIs that should drive the auto-generated agendas? Select the most complete set. So it's giving you multiple type of KPIs that you want to track, and that's where the focus should be. How should the weekly review meetings be structured? And similarly, it has created 12 different questions for you. The good part is you can answer all these questions and also add your own questions or your pointers which you think are missed here, right? So that becomes very interesting point for us to work with, and that's what we need to answer here. And we are at this stage requirement analysis, right? After that, based on what kind of requirements that we provide, the guide will decide whether there is a user story that is required. So if it's straightforward requirement, it doesn't create those kind of user stories and doesn't go to application design and other unit generation um, steps. It will correctly skip those steps because those are making things more complicated. Straightforward request. User stories, but in this case, because it's a complicated problem, user stories, workflow planning, all those will be part of this. Now let me show you what happens if at all the guide was not existing there, right? So the difference here is there is no guide rule engine which is sitting here. And let me just provide the same prompt as what we provided here. And let's see how it behaves. Now all the configuration and everything is exactly same. I'm using CoPilot, VS Code, model is Cloud Opus 4.6, and we are in agent mode. Now it's saying let me build this comprehensive system. I'll start by creating the entire backend foundation. Now, this is exactly what happens in vibe coding, that it is not even asking you bare minimum questions when you are using Copilot and integrated with the most powerful reasoning model. Ideally, the reasoning model should have asked me some questions before even getting into the entire backend foundation. I'll just see what kind of files it is. So it is directly creating backend and it is creating requirements.txt. Now this requirements.txt is not the one that we saw. It is a dependency file, which is actually talking about what kind of packages it would need. So it is not even asked bare minimum questions to me before starting to work here. So as you can see, guide methodology is the one which brings the whole enterprise way of software development integrated within your AI coding agent. And the good part is it can work with any IDEs. I just shown the example with Copilot, but it can integrate with Cloud Code, it can integrate with Cursor, Windsurf, Kiro, Antigravity, whichever platform you would like to work with. And it's completely cloud and platform agnostic. Thank you for watching and reach out to us on this email ID.